Interesting, because for months, U.S. ground operations in eastern Syria against Daesh have been on hold as the YPG forces on the ground in eastern Syria that are partnered with U.S. Special Operations stop the fight against Daesh to turn their guns against Turkish forces in the Free Syrian Army in Afrin during the Afrin operation. By their own account of the Pentagon, a Pentagon spokesman actually said that a significant number of these fighters have returned from fighting in Afrin now back into eastern Syria. So the U.S. Special Forces and the U.S. Military Command have resumed the fight and their operations on the ground against Daesh. So it's interesting here to see that there seems to be an admission by the Pentagon and U.S. military leadership that these fighters that they're working with on the ground in eastern Syria to fight Daesh were also very heavily involved in Afrin, fighting against a NATO ally. So these operations are now resuming on the ground in the last areas that Daesh controls in a strategic border crossing between Syria and Iraq in the middle Euphrates River Valley.
Because the U.S. relationship with the YPG has been the source of enormous friction with Turkey. So where does that leave us?
Well, we saw what seemed to be a positive meeting just last week on the sidelines of a Brussels NATO conference between the U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo, who was just recently confirmed, and the Turkish Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu, where they discussed the issue of the YPG and possibly even having Turkish forces and Turkish Free Syrian Army allied forces moving in to Manbij in northern Syria, a town that's currently held by the YPG. So there seem to be some positive indicators of discussions between the two countries regarding the U.S.'s problematic relationship with the YPG, which Ankara views as heavily problematic because the YPG is the Syrian offshoot of the PKK terror group. But it seems now that the U.S. has seemed to double down on its local partnership with the YPG and the fight against Daesh in eastern Syria and Abu Kamal. Now, it was interesting to see also Secretary of Defense James Mattis said that the U.S. is committed to winning the peace and to supporting long-term stabilization in eastern Syria. So there seems to be some signals from the Pentagon of a long-term U.S. presence, at least in eastern Syria. And that may mean the U.S. may be partnering and working with the YPG militant group for some time to come.
Mubashir Bandar, thank you.